Today we're going to be talking about how to make your own fantasy style colored lipstick out of Crayola crayons. So we decided to go ahead and get a 48 pack of crayons that cost about $3 right there. And we decided to also get a metallic effect crayons which cost around the same price. So today what we're going to try is to make one, a crystal style lipstick, which we're going to use these colors: steel blue, sea green, and we'll even get a little complement of white, possibly. Not too much, maybe just like a little tip. And then for our second test, which is going to be a more steampunk style fantasy, we're going to use Fusion Gold Metallic Effect, and we're also going to use a sepia. So first we're going to test out how our colors are going to possibly look like. So we're going to first take the steel blue and give it a little shade over a piece of paper towel. Now we'll take the second color, sea green, and then when we start putting an overlay, we kind of see that it gives a slightly more lighter tone to our design. We'll try it again now on the other way. And we expect it to look around such. So it's now more, instead of a sapphire style color, a more of a fantasy style light blue crystal. And we're actually going to not use white on this one because it actually is light enough not to require white mixed in with the crayons. Now, in order to test the steampunk style, we're going to go ahead and take the gold fusion, and we're going to go ahead and make a quick little patch of color right here on the paper towel. Be careful and not use too heavy of strokes because it could tear the paper towel, and that really just makes it difficult to see how the fusion looks. And then we go ahead and take our sepia, and we'll kind of apply it gently over the gold. This gives the slight bronzy, gold, and rusted effect that steampunk is usually associated to. So now we're going to go ahead and test out what else we're going to be using. Now what you need to use is your pot. You're going to have to either have a pot individually, any type of pot, or you can have a pot filled with boiling water and have a bowl in order to have a double boil style system. Instead of using the double boil style, we're just going to melt the crayons and our individual oils within this pot. You, you also need to have, of course, something to hold your lipstick in. So you can have chapstick, an empty container, or whatnot. And all you just need to do is open it up, and then you're going to have to take out whatever contents it's in if you have to get a new one, such as this. If you have a new container of lipstick or chapstick, you can go ahead and open it up, and what you'll have to do is go ahead and start taking out everything. You can put it into a different storage container so you can actually use it later on. And now you have an empty chapstick ready to use. Now all you have to do is set your pot to a low heat, and that should be just about fine. So around low 1 or 2, those settings will be just enough in order for you to be able to melt your wax and the oils that you're going to put in. So you usually have approximately no more than about 1 teaspoon worth of oil, but in this one I'm going to go ahead and take about half a teaspoon of coconut oil, and we're going to go ahead and put that in. Then you can give yourself about a quarter of vegetable oil. So usually for about your lipstick, you want to have the equivalent for whatever color you're doing about one crayon worth. So if you're using more than one crayon, you take that many, and pretty much you'll take the ratio of such. Unless you start working around and make your own combination, and oh, then you could use a little bit less of this color, and then you have more of this color, and vice versa. So easiest way to think of it is have your fractions of how how much you need to break away from the crayon. So if I have two, I can use approximately about half of each crayon. Or let's say I use three, then about a third of each crayon. So in this, I'm actually going to go ahead and take about half of the blue steel, and actually I'm going to take about a quarter of the sea green, so it's not too overbearing. The only reason I'm doing this is because you sometimes will have leftover wax left in the mixtures after you're done pouring the hot wax into your empty lipstick containers, because sometimes it's just not big enough. If you come and have bigger chapstick bottles, then you'll be able to. Now with the oil, you can go ahead and start adding in the crayons. As you can see, it starts to melt. This is the wax that is made with crayons that is now starting. And usually you can get either a chopstick, a spoon, or a bamboo skewer, and you can start mixing the colors. This just makes the whole process a lot easier. And you can also separate the crayons so it's easier to mold. And then you go ahead and start mixing them together so all the colors become intermixed. As you can see with this one, with the metallic crayon, you can start seeing like the silver glitter and the texture from that crayon starting to form and take base. So now, as you can see, we're starting to get a nice little mixture right here. As everything is mixed together, the wax and the oil. The wax helps keep everything into a near solid form when you have the lipstick being made after it's cooled. And pretty much what you have with oils is make it soft enough so it can actually be applied onto your lips when you're using it as a lipstick. Now, once you have everything mixed together, you carefully, with preferably paper towels underneath, go ahead and try to pour the mixture into the empty container. You don't have to worry too much if you get a spill. That could be easily cleaned up. You want to get it right before it gets completely full at the tip. Okay, once it cools down a little, you're able to finally move it around. Make sure you could clean off the sides a little bit, and then you can go ahead and cap it and let it cool down. Some people allows it to cool down over time. I would actually suggest in this situation to just go ahead and throw it into the freezer or refrigerator for a little while and allow it to cool that way, because it takes a shorter time. It is just as efficient. And make sure that some of the edges doesn't cover up the top cap. Otherwise, it'll be a little bit more difficult to open it up once you get it cooled down. It won't be impossible, but it'll be a little bit more difficult. So now after you clean it up and take it out of the refrigerator or freezer or however you cool it down, now you can see that it solidifies within the empty container, and now you have your little lipstick right here.